Hello, you lovely people. How are you? Welcome to the video. It is pouring down the rain here, and it sounds so wonderful. It was so good to go to sleep listening to that last night. I know a lot of folks that rain is like a nightmare because it's from that tropical storm. We're getting kind of the tail end of it now, but it's beautiful for us. I'm sorry for all the damage it's done, but I do like listening to the sound of the rain outside. So, what we got going on today? Today is the end of the month, so we are going to have the drawing on here, a video later today, for the winner of the hardcover Queens Road signed book, for the folks who have purchased the audiobook from Audible for the Queens Road. And the hardcover is, of course, coming from the lovely people at Falstaff Books. So very excited to see who wins that contest. We have a lot of people who have entered, and very excited for that. So good luck to you. If you're watching this and you want to, you can still get in and have a chance of winning. Go to the Amazon page or the Audible page for the Queens Road by R.S. Belcher. Purchase it. Send me some kind of proof of purchase, a screen capture, whatever you want to do. And I will put you in the running for the book, and then we'll have the drawing sometime tonight. Ooh, the anticipation, the excitement's in the air. Also, I wanted to do a very quick little shout out. My agent, Lucianne Diver, is having a virtual event later today at the Orange County Library System. She's going to be doing a virtual event on how to pitch to a literary agent. So it's a virtual event. You have to register. As of the time of this video, we're showing 11 seats remaining. No promises, but if you would like to talk to a real agent, an extremely real agent, Lucianne has been in this business for many years. She is excellent, and I'm very fortunate to have her represent me. So if you talk to her, if you go to the event, be nice. Be nice. You better be. But the link for this is attend.ocls.info/events. You go to their page. Basically, you go here. Well, it's top of this page. Basically, you go to the Orange County Library System's website. There's a tab for events. You click that. You scroll down until you see the virtual event, How to Pitch a Literary Agent, which is today, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So you got time today to register, and I think it would be, if you're at all interested in acquiring an agent, which I personally recommend. I think it's absolutely essential for a writer who wants to be professionally marketed to try to pursue an agent. A lot of folks don't, but as for me, I am very thankful that I went that route. So if you see Lucianne, tell her I said hi, and check out the event, because I think that she has a lot of really good information. I hope I can get her on the channel one day and see if she wants to do some talking on here. Okay, so that out of the way. We are going to start a process of editing videos. We're going to do some editing videos. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I hate editing. I hate it. I've done it for a living. I've actually done the job. I've done it for myself. I've done it for other people. And it is part of the job of being a writer. You can't get around it. But some people really have a passion and a talent for editing. And then there's me. So I do think it is important. And since I'm one of the reasons that kind of got this whole line of thought going was I have received back some edits from Falstaff on the Ghost Dance Judgment, which is coming out in October. And I'm going to work on those edits. And I thought, well, why don't we talk a little bit about that process whilst I do it? So, and this is just more kind of like a little setup video. I have to go take Emily and Tori, my granddaughter, to the doctor. So this is going to be a fairly short video, but I did want to touch a couple of bases. I definitely wanted to let you know about Lucianne's event, because I think that's something that would be very helpful to a lot of you if you are, interested in going that route. And I also wanted to show you this, which is kind of a neat little article I found. And I agree with what they got going on here. They have levels of editing. And there are 4 basic levels of editing they discuss here. And it's fairly comprehensive. I mean, everybody, just like writing, everyone can go through a different process in editing. No 2 editors do it exactly the same. When I used to do newspaper work, I literally had rules for one editor and rules for another editor, depending on which publication I was writing for. And that can be a challenge, because every single editor wants to do it their own way, and they want to do it different ways. So overall, kind of like a big broad brush kind of an approach here. 4 steps of editing. First, number 1 is content and development. That's where you're reading for the structure of the story. You're reading through the entire work. You're looking for things like character arcs, plot. How does the plot hold up? Is it shaky in some places? Are there plot holes? Are there places where it's like, going, wait a minute, you lost me here. And then fact checking. Like for example, in Six Gun Tarot, I mentioned a city. I might have been Kansas City. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was a city. And at that time, the year that the story was set in, Kansas City hadn't been built yet. So things like that. I mean, there's just little things that you have to fact check. Just make sure if you're using historical information. If you're talking about how an anesthesiologist does something, make sure that you check up and see if it's actually right. If someone's using a certain type of gun or a certain type of car, make sure you've got a good idea of what it's doing. You don't have it going 300 miles an hour when it can't go 300 miles an hour, unless there's something fantastical in the story that lets it go 300 miles an hour, and then you're good. But you still fact check, because it's like, okay, it shouldn't be able to do this, and maybe you should mention that in the story. So that's level 1. That's like you're reading overall, you're reading content, and you're reading the story, and you're seeing, how does the story hold up? How do the characters hold up? Is it satisfying arcs for the characters? Is it a satisfying ending? Is there anything in the story that kind of breaks my immersion in it and makes me go, what? And then that's always a bad thing. So that's level 1. Level 2, line edits. This is where you're looking at the sentence structure and the wording. Do you have repetitive wording? I am very guilty of doing this. I am very, very, very guilty of doing repetitive words when I repetitively write in my books. Very. So so everybody has favorite words. Everybody has words that are kind of branded into their brain. They're like their default words for certain things. Part of your job when you're writing is to try to break that. Is to, if you used a certain word and you've used it a couple of times, maybe you need to go back and do some edits and change those words up a little bit so it doesn't sound so repetitive. So basically, line edits are, you're looking at how the sentences flow, or do you have run-on sentences? Do you have a sentence that's a paragraph? I'm guilty of all of these things, and throw myself on the mercy of the court. I just hope it's Judge Judy. So anyways, that's a line editing process. Also confusing words. If you have something in there that just doesn't fit, or breaks your immersion. It's a time to go through and look at those too. So that's your level 2 edits, your line edits. So content and development, line edits, and then we jump to number 3, which is copy editing. And this is actually like the nuts and bolts of editing. I think this is what probably a lot of people think of when they think of editing. Copy editing is the mechanics of the writing. You're referring to style manuals, whichever style manual your editor uses. When I was writing a lot, we used the AP style manual quite a bit. There's the New York Times style manual. Oh God, Chicago style manual. Basically, there's a lot of different style manuals you can pick, and every editor kind of has the one that they've sort of settled on as their sort of their. And a lot of folks have in-house style manuals. Like a certain publishing house may say, we use the Oxford comma, or we eschew the Oxford comma. But basically, this is where, this is where the editor earns their pay. They go through and make sure every period, every semicolon, every quotation mark is right. Which I can just tell you right now, copy editing is an art more than a skill. When I was in the newspaper business, every Tuesday morning was print day, was press day. So we were trying to print about half a dozen regional weekly newspapers, ones for different cities and towns. And mine was the Vinton Messenger, which was for the town of Vinton. And we would have all the editors kind of, it was kind of a fun time because I would be up, I'd be there Monday night laying out the paper. And then come Monday morning, everybody else would be coming in, and I had done my layouts, and I still had to, basically I was there until the paper went to bed, till we got it printed and it was on its way to getting like distributed, and then I got to go home and go to sleep, and then get up the next day and make another paper. So we had, you'd have like half a dozen editors, and you'd have the publisher, and then you have folks that worked in the assembly room who are putting this stuff together, who are also pretty damn good editors. All of us would pass each other's work around. We pass our pages around and look for things, mistakes, see if we could catch them before it went to the press. And you would have 6, 7, 8, 9 sets of eyes on a piece of paper, on an article or a page of the newspaper, and stuff would still slip through. We had this one lady, she was, I think she was retired from her original job, and she was a grandma, and she was sweet. She didn't say a whole lot. She was a very quiet lady, but she worked back in the assembly room, so she was helping put the paper together. And in her spare time, she would basically copy edit. And I think she was one of the best damn copy editors I've ever known in the world. She was the best. She caught stuff that all of us missed. And that's just the point I'm going to is, don't beat yourself up over copy editing. Like I said, it is more of an art form than a skill. Some people just have an eye for it. One of the old tricks I heard was read it backwards. But sometimes you're so busy focusing on reading it backwards, you'll still miss stuff. So basically, copy editing stage 3 is really important, because you want to have your manuscript as clean of mistakes and errors as you can. But you may have to go, and during the process, I've worked with professional editors and a New York professional publisher. And I'll be honest, I was looking at the stuff that Falstaff sent me, and Falstaff is a smaller press. They are impressive as hell, but they are not a New York press. And Falstaff, their editor did an excellent job on editing the manuscript. So kudos. So basically what you do with line editing is you find the person who like adjusts their chair just so it's a certain angle to the television screen. Maybe the person who organizes their vegetables and their meats on their plate. Not all editors are like that, but I've met some that are. It's just that meticulous personality that's like really keen on detail and wants to make sure everything is just right. That's your copy editor, and you're gonna be a copy editor for yourself. And again, like I said, do the best job you can. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to have multiple eyes on this. But before you send a manuscript out somewhere, out into the universe to try to get purchased, you got to do a lot of copy editing. And that brings us finally to stage 4 of the editing process, which would be proofreading. And proofreading is basically everything else has been done. You've done your copy editing, you've done your line editing, you've read for content and for development, and now you're going on doing your final passes. And this is basically, you go through one more time. Sometimes you'll get so sick of reading whatever the hell it is you're editing because you've read it so many times. And actually, that's actually an advantage, because once you stop reading for content, things start jumping out at you. So once you know the story backwards and forwards, and it's just kind of lost its zing for you as an editor or as a reader, then you can start focusing on, that's not right, and that's not right, and that's not right. And you'll be amazed how much stuff you missed, because, you know, our brains are designed, you know, when you're, and your job as a writer is to write something engaging. So if you're reading something that's really engaging, you can miss mistakes. Your brain just glosses right over them because it's having a good time. So proofreading is another process where you're probably gonna have multiple people proofing, and they're just looking, it's like one last time before it goes out the door, if you can find anything that might need to be changed. With the newspaper, one time we had this promotion that was going through all the newspapers. This was before my time, but God, did I hear about this from everybody. Is they were supposed to be doing a breast cancer awareness advertising. There's like a page that was going to have all these ads on it from different, you know, different merchants and stuff who were all saying they were in support of it. It was like for Breast Cancer Month, and it ended up being Breast Awareness Week. Not breast cancer awareness, breast awareness. There were a few others like that were just kind of become legend. So that's a quick overview of what we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm going to try to break these 4 into separate videos and go in a little more detail about them. Probably by the time I'm done with them, you'll be as done with editing as I usually am. But I hope it'll be of some value to you. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm also going to tell you some stuff about basically your relationship with your editor, which is very important. It's a very important relationship. You have to learn to trust your editor. If you don't trust your editor, you got the wrong editor. But sometimes you have to work with that editor anyway. So I'll try to give you a little advice on that and give you some personal history on how that went. If you have not subscribed, I want to thank you guys. I picked up some more patrons this weekend. We did the first gaming session. It went great. I picked up 3 patrons in the last 2 or 3 days on Patreon. Please take a look. I'll put the link for it in the comments, or sorry, the description of the video. Please sign up for the channel, subscribe to it if you haven't. Please share the videos if there's anything of value in them that you feel is worth sharing. I really appreciate that, and it helps me hopefully attract new folks to the channel, which of course helps me in my overall goal of world domination. So thank you. And yeah, click on the bell so you're notified every time a video comes out. And like I said, if you have not purchased the Queen's Road audiobook from Audible, pick it up today, and then by tonight you may be the proud owner of a hardcover copy of the Queen's Road. So that all being said, I hope you guys are having a magnificent day wherever you are, whether it's raining or not. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Everybody take care and have a really great day. Thanks. Bye.